Welcome back to blockchain land. So this installment of the blockchain videos is going to involve diving deeper into the blockchain that is Ethereum. And I think the best, which is kind of like the case study I'm choosing to use and really get more into blockchain on a practical level with, because it's the blockchain system that there was a lot more energy and intention and emphasis put into making it a more like robust system of blockchain. The best ways to start to understand anything is to define it. And one of the best ways to define something is to dive into its etymology. So like where it came from and its origins. So I did some research. And obviously the word Ethereum is derived from the word ethereal or ether, which the word ether is originally a Latin word, which was actually derived from a Greek word, go figure, they were always closely related, which means upper air. And throughout any definition you find, like the word ethereal is usually synonymous with words like light and heavenly and spiritual. So that's kind of like the essence of ether, therefore ethereal, therefore Ethereum, which is what they decided to name this blockchain. And by the way, in the background you probably hear my chihuahua clicking around on the hard floors and the fact that they are doing construction outside because, yeah, blockchain land is not on some like imaginary cloud somewhere. It's in real life in California, so sorry, can't help it. But speaking of clouds, I have to point out the fact that this definition of Ethereum and being light and airy is very reminiscent of the cloud and cloud-based technology. I feel like ether is almost the more detailed, smaller, intricate, more nebulous version of a cloud and cloud-based technology, which is what we're used to right now in the world. I think it's also cool to look at definitions of ether from different like cultural, historical references. And I know this is more of like a hippie point of view, but in different cultures throughout time, the word ether has been synonymous with words and concepts of like prana and life force or the fifth element, which is like this all-pervasive, like nebulous creative energy force that constitutes each of the four main elemental forms of earth and air, like clouds, and fire and water. So ether again is like that smaller, more intricate version, and I think Ethereum is playing off of that. And then if you approach it even from a different point of view, more of like a science and physics type point of view, which you think would be totally opposite of like the hippie prana life force, you still are left with ether. I mean, think of like Einstein when he would talk about ether, just that point of time, like the earlier 1900s. You still, like from a science point of view, were left with this feeling of a description of something that was like those all-pervasive creative energy particles, like or like now what we define actually in science as like neutrinos or vibrational packets of energy. So whether you approach it from more of like a hippie point of view or more of a science point of view, you still have ether being synonymous with like those nebulous, all-pervasive creative energy forces, which again is I think what the Ethereum Foundation was going for when they named Ethereum and what their ideal of what blockchain is supposed to be. And I also have to point out the fact that I think this gets us one step closer to having a more serverless internet as we progressively send all of our data into the cloud or the ether to be housed and transferred worldwide. So now it's time for a more practical definition of Ethereum as defined by the Ethereum Foundation themselves. They state that Ethereum is a decentralized platform that runs smart contracts, where smart contracts are defined as applications that run exactly as programmed without any possibility of downtime, censorship, fraud or third-party interference. So this is how Ethereum is trying, and blockchain is trying to be that just noticeable difference compared to our other systems, like for transferring money and employing contracts. It's basically saying that smart contracts are like a faster, cheaper, more private, more secure way to make business and personal transactions. And I definitely have to point out the fact that, like, from a psychology marketing point of view, the term smart contracts makes a heavy play off of our association with the concept of our smartphone, which is already like this culturally beloved item of, you know, your smartphone. So smart contracts, I think someone in marketing is definitely playing off of that and trying to make it catch and be more popular and really sink its teeth into our culture. So smart contracts, that's the word. But anyways, the definition goes on to say that these apps run on, the decentralized apps run on a custom-built blockchain. So there's our blockchain concept again, which is what kicked this whole thing off, which they define as an enormously powerful shared global infrastructure where you can move value around and represent the ownership of property. So again, that goes back into the smart contracts thing. And I think the move value around is definitely in reference to the fact that this is a place where you can not only create your own currency, you could use Ether, which is the currency that's already created within Ethereum, but there's like a code recipe where you can create your own currency and be able to transfer it worldwide without, again, like the third-party interference and censorship. That the definition goes on to say that this enables developers to create markets, which makes sense, store registries of debt or promises, so that's like that immutable ledger that we were talking about, move funds in accordance with instructions given long in the past. So that one's kind of cool. Think of like a will or a futures contract. So you can make contracts like that. So even if you're long gone, it could be logged in the blockchain immutably that this is what you wanted to happen with your estate. So that's a neat thing. And again, that plays into the smart contracts thing. I almost think of it like if you go to an estate lawyer or just any type of legal office, or even if you go to like LegalZoom.com or one of those like rocket lawyer websites and see all the services they have. When I think of smart contracts, I think of like just decentralizing it even more to where you can write and make all of those smart contracts on your own. The thing I'm not as clear on is the enforceability yet, but yeah, I guess I'll have to explore more of that as this continues. Let's see. And then the definition ends, this is my favorite part, by saying, as well as many other things that have not been invented yet. So you have the stored debt, of debts and promises, and move funds in accordance with instructions given long in the past, and things that are a little more specific. And then they actually state in the official definition, and many other things that have not been invented yet. And to me, that's the part that makes it like techy and charming, and the fact that it's like a nod to it being an open source technology. So even the original developers of Ethereum or of any of the blockchains that are set up this way don't even totally foresee what is going to become of Ethereum and the blockchain, because it is open source. So there's going to be humans and honestly robots throughout time, indefinitely into perpetuity, building on what the possibilities of this blockchain are going to be. And the Ethereum Foundation, the Ethereum project specifically, was actually crowdfunded starting in August of 2014 by fans of this technology from all around the globe, and it's technically a nonprofit based out of Switzerland at the moment. So that's the Oz behind the curtain of the mystery that is Ethereum for a lot of people. And again, as these videos continue, I plan on diving deeper into certain philosophical and theoretical as well as practical aspects of blockchain, what it is and what it can do for you. So in the meantime, stay smart, stay sexy. Bye.